Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is June 28th, and right now we are looking at the visible satellite imagery. As of yesterday morning here, you can see the sun rising across the Pacific Ocean, and you can see the forest fire smoke out there as well. The Fresno Fire Complex out here, and I believe it's the Basin Fire also. And you can see that smoke kind of flaring around there a little bit. Then you go through the afternoon hours, you can see it continue to produce smoke. And if you look closely, you see the cumulus buildup there over across some portions of extreme western Nevada here, and some high and mid-level clouds moving across from northern California and northern Nevada. Not quite enough to stir up a lightning strike there. Most of that lightning activity there remained across some of eastern Nevada, Utah, and Arizona. Then we go through the overnight hours here, and you can go back into the morning here, and you can see the sun rising this morning. You can still see that smoke out there as well. More on that here in a moment. You can see the marine there kind of bouncing around on some of the coastal areas as well. Taking a look at the increasing confidence in the heat risk next week, you can see the temperature starting to get pretty darn right warm here. Still some uncertainty on how this ridge is going to develop along the west coast of North America here. So this is going to be something we're watching here over the next few days, but it does have moderate to major heat risk upcoming. More on that here in a moment as well. Hot week next week, Eureka, California. You can see a lot of temperatures there, especially interior areas getting up over 100 degrees. And here we go for San Diego. So these are highs today. You can see Palm Springs 111, thermal 110. If we go on into Saturday, you can see the bit of a warm up here occurring. Then we got the Sunday and a little bit warmer still, but we have a lot to work out here again as we go on in through next week. Stay with me. Dangerous heat. Stay hydrated and cool. You can see Hanford National Weather Service talking about a major weather risk for heat-related illness expected in San Joaquin Valley, Westside Hills, Sierra Hills, Kern River, and Mojave Desert slopes next week. What to expect? High temperatures near 110 degrees across a large portion of Central California from Wednesday to Friday. You guys know how to beat the heat here, but just drawing your attention to it. This was updated Friday this morning at about 3 a.m. And also the fire smoke out there. Hanford National Weather Service calling attention to the fire smoke out and about here. If you're across this area, you already know about it. And this could be drifting off portions to the east as well. And if we take a look, we can actually see the model, the high resolution. This is hot off the presses, vertically integrated smoke. You can see that forest fire smoke. And as we go through this afternoon and evening, you can see that fire again start to flare up there and produce that smoke. And then you can go to, I believe this is california.gov, and you can click on any one of these individual locations here. You can see the Basin Fire is now up towards 6,000 acres. You can go to the Fresno June Lightning Complex. It's getting close to 11,000 acres, and that's where we're producing that smoke here across some of the area near Fresno and some of the foothill areas here as well. And the weekend outlook for Phoenix, just showing you that by the time we get to Sunday, we're starting to increase precipitation chances, and we're starting to ramp up these temperatures here as well. You can see El Centro getting towards 113, Yuma 112 here as we get towards Sunday. And the isolated scattered showers and storms do continue here across portions of Arizona. This is for Sunday and Monday. Lesser chance across some of the lower elevations versus areas off to the east and higher terrain. Las Vegas, look at the 7-day temperature outlook here. So if you're headed out to Vegas here, be aware. As you can see today 109, but look, by the time you get towards Thursday next week, 115 degrees here on the high end of things. And if we look at the excessive rainfall outlook from this monsoon moisture, just kind of southeast Arizona and on through tomorrow as well, kind of in through portions of New Mexico. So as we look at the National Blended Models, this is the 12Z run there, daily max 2-meter temperature, and we're going to scroll through this Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. You can see the temperatures really start to ramp up here by July 2nd. There's the 3rd. Look at some of these temperatures exceeding 110 degrees, possibly Death Valley over 120. Very warm across the desert areas. Here we go through Thursday, Friday, still remaining very warm here across the region. And again, we're going to be watching this ridge develop here, and it's going to have big implications in just how warm we get here across much of the state of California. You can see Saturday, July 6th, you're still pushing 110 for some locations in the valley. There's Sunday, and then maybe a little bit of a cool off as we go through the following week. No promises on that just yet. But if we take a look on the European model on the left versus the GFS on the right, you can see the Hawaiian Islands. It's the same map on both sides. There's the Pacific Ocean, California right there. There's Arizona. So if we put this into motion here, you can see this weak troughing swinging through the Pacific Northwest right here, down some of the portions of the West Coast. But then you'll quickly see this ridge start to develop as we head on into next week. And this is what we are talking about for this heat. And if we continue to scroll off in towards Wednesday afternoon, you can see the GFS and the European, the very strong ridge here off the west west coast of North America. And if we scroll up far enough towards the end of next week, you can see the GFS with a very strong ridge here. This is bringing some very warm temperatures across the region. The European also showing the ridge, just not quite as strong. And then we get another system trying to move through the Pacific Northwest and helping to flatten out this ridge a bit here, but it still remains quite strong according to some of the weather models here, as you can see. Now, taking a look here, you can see all-time record highs for 500 millibars here. And what I was showing you was some of those values approaching 600 here. So you can kind of see it's kind of getting into rare territory. So we could be setting some all-time record highs for some locations during this upcoming event. And again, over the next few days, it's going to become a little bit more apparent on just how warm we're going to get. And if we take a look at the European here as of last night, 850 millibars, about 5,000 feet, streamlines for the winds and temperature anomaly here at 5,000 feet. And if I scroll off into the future, you'll see the ridge developing here, and then you can see the abnormally warm conditions aloft as we scroll off in towards about Wednesday night of next week here. So you can see we really start to ramp things up here as we go on in through next week as far as temperatures are concerned. If we take a look at the European ensemble, so this takes all 50 ensemble members that we tweak those initial conditions to correct for any errors in our initial understanding of the atmosphere, and we run this out, and you can see that we have that troughing on the west coast here as we go through this weekend. Then we bring that ridge in here in very good agreement for a strong ridge developing here, so pretty high confidence right now in this warm-up. Now, this is something interesting as well. Probability of 2-meter max temperature exceeding or equaling 100 degrees. So let's go ahead and look at Friday today. You can see we do have some chance across some of the valley areas and, of course, across a lot of the desert areas as well. And we go on into Saturday. There's Sunday, Monday. And when you get into these reds here, you're talking about 90 to 100% chance of exceeding 100 degrees. This is for next Tuesday. There is Wednesday of next week. There is Thursday of next week. There is Friday. So you can kind of see that heat really going to be building up as we go through next week. Some very elevated chances here of reaching 100 degrees. Some areas, pretty good chance of reaching 110 during this time frame as well. And if we take a look at the tropical weather outlook, this is for the Atlantic. Things are starting to get a bit active out here. If we click on Eastern Pacific, you can see we're not expecting any tropical cyclone activity here over the next 48 hours. And the Central Pacific, you can check Hawaii if you want to. This is the National Hurricane Center here if you want to check that out on your own as well. This is 6 to 10 day as we go through July 7th. This is no doubt going to be getting increased here as we go through the next upcoming days. Precipitation chances below. You can kind of see that monsoon signal here as we go through July 7th. And you can see 8 to 14 day, kind of a widespread above average here across a lot of the southwest. And again, that monsoon signal there as well, and kind of the Intermountain West, some below average signals showing up. This is an experimental product here. Risk of hazardous temperatures as we go through July 5th through July 11th. You can clearly see the excessive heat slight warning here for all the way up towards July 9th. And this is the risk of heavy precipitation, some of that monsoon moisture out there as well. But anyway, we'll be watching this ridge build here, and we're going to see how warm we get. More information on this tomorrow. We'll continue to check the weather models, see what kind of consistency we get, and we'll check to see just where this ridge develops. It's going to have a big difference on just how warm we get along some of the coastal areas as well. So anyway, hope you guys are liking the channel. Click like and subscribe. We'll do this all again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.